Taiwan is an island of over 34,000 square kilometers and is located in the western Pacific Ocean. The island has a population of over 23 million people and lies off the southeastern coast of the China mainland. As we know, China is commonly known as the People's Republic of China. Contrastingly, the government structure of Taiwan is the Republic of China, but this is not widely recognized internationally. After World War II, the history of how the Republic of China came to govern Taiwan and whether that governance is actually legitimate are topics that are frequently debated. Different scholars have different interpretations. Many claim Taiwan is a sovereign entity, many claim that it isn't. How can we sort out these conflicting claims? First, we need to look at what these scholars are doing. When examining Taiwan's so-called qualifications for being a sovereign nation, these scholars are actually overviewing a list of qualifying criteria. The most common list may have 4 criteria, while more detailed lists may have 8 or 12 criteria. In any event, in regard to the Republic of China on Taiwan, a superficial review usually produces a positive reading in regard to the sovereignty question. However, a more thorough investigation quickly reveals that the qualifying criteria has actually been obtained using illegal methods or illegal procedures. For more information and analysis, you are best advised to keep watching as we continue our series, Commonly Seen Mistakes when discussing the legal status of Taiwan.
Commonly Seen Mistakes, Part 3.
The ROC on Taiwan, under any definition, meets the criteria to be a sovereign state.
As stated previously, the Japanese surrender ceremonies in Taiwan only marked the beginning of the military occupation. Under international law, and specifically according to the Hague and Geneva Conventions, there are many types of actions which are illegal in occupied territory. Among these are
announced annexation of the territory, mass naturalization of the local populace, enforcement of military conscription policies over the local populace, promulgation of a new legal structure.
A quick examination of the Republic of China's supposed qualifying criteria for recognition as a sovereign state quickly shows that they are based on major violations of international law, such as the announcement of Taiwan Retrocession Day on October 25, 1945, the mass naturalization of the local populace on January 12, 1946, etc. Many foreign government officials often make statements to the effect that neither Taiwan nor the Republic of China on Taiwan are sovereign. At the most basic level, such statements are 100% true. What is unfortunate is that for the most part, these foreign government officials do not explain the reasons for their conclusions, thus leaving the native Taiwanese people both angry and confused.
After more than 70 years governing Taiwan, the Republic of China has a long record of effective territorial control and therefore can claim sovereignty over Taiwan.
The issue being discussed here is directly related to the confusion generated by two different usages of the word occupation in English. In this regard, it is necessary to distinguish between populated and unpopulated territory. Unpopulated territory is often referred to by the Latin terminology of terra nullius, An example is a volcanic island formed in the ocean. Although competing claims must be considered, a lengthy period of effective territorial control over such unpopulated territory by the citizens of one country can result in a justifiable claim of sovereignty.
However, Taiwan in 1945 was quite different. The population of Taiwan at that time was over 6 million, and it was certainly not terra nullius.
The completion of the surrender ceremonies in Taiwan on October 25, 1945, marks the beginning of this military occupation. International law specifies that military occupation does not transfer sovereignty, and there is no time limit after which this condition expires. With the completion of the surrender ceremonies, the Republic of China in Taiwan was merely fulfilling the role of a proxy occupying force. Hence, the ROC cannot point to an accumulation of years of effective territorial control as a justification for claiming sovereignty over Taiwan. Some viewers may still have trouble understanding the legal difference between exercising territorial control and exercising sovereignty. For more authoritative explanations on this aspect, please see our videos. Taiwan Perspectives.
With the institution of popular elections for president in 1996, the ROC in Taiwan has already become a domestic regime.
As discussed previously in this series, there was no Taiwan Retrocession Day on October 25, 1945, and Taiwan remained sovereign Japanese territory.
Actions such as the mass naturalization of the local populace, the promulgation of a new constitution as the basis for an entirely new legal code, the implementation of military conscription policies, etc., are all forbidden in occupied territory.
The historical record clearly shows that the ROC Constitution was written for the mainland China area and later forced on the Taiwanese populace at the point of a gun. In Chinese scholarly circles, this document is commonly referred to as the Nanjing Constitution. It is not the true organic law of Taiwan. Elections held under the auspices of this constitution are only relevant to the maintenance of the legal framework of the ROC government in exile on Taiwan. Going back to examine the historical record, two actions could have caused the Republic of China to attain the status of domestic regime in Taiwan. First would have been for the 1952 San Francisco Peace Treaty to award the territorial sovereignty of Taiwan to China. Second would have been for Taiwan to be formally incorporated into China's national territory via the procedures specified in the ROC Constitution after late April 1952. However, neither of these actions did occur. Hence, for these and many other reasons, in Taiwan today the ROC remains as a foreign regime.
In order to become a true state in the international community, Taiwan should declare its independence.
Although unknown to a majority of the Taiwan populace, over the period of the last 30, 40, or more years, there have been many Taiwanese people, both groups of private individuals and various fully registered associations, foundations, etc., which have taken out large advertisements in newspapers in North America, Europe, Japan, etc., proclaiming Taiwan's independence. They have also held rallies to make similar announcements.
However, none of these advertisements or announcements has ever had the slightest effect. We are forced to conclude that in relation to Taiwan, declarations of this type have no practical significance.
An additional problem is the sovereignty issue. As we know, Japanese sovereignty over Taiwan ended with the coming into force of the post-war SFPT in 1952. However, as discussed in detail in this series and in other videos on our channel, there are no international legal documents which can prove that Taiwan has ever been incorporated into the national territory of China. Such facts were confirmed by the decision in a 1959 court case in Washington, D.C., where the judges found that Taiwan was not part of the national territory of China. Therefore, since neither Japan nor China exercise sovereignty over Taiwan, the question arises, from which country should Taiwan declare its independence?
The vast majority of Taiwan independence advocates are unable to answer this question.
In fact, Taiwan's current international legal status remains as territory conquered by the USA, which has not reached a final political status. In the 1952 SFPT, Taiwan was not awarded to China. However, the treaty clearly specifies the jurisdiction of a U.S. federal agency, the United States military government, over Taiwan. For Taiwan, this is what may be called the first tier or topmost jurisdiction. Hence, at present, the most urgent problem for Taiwan is to clearly define its international status as an overseas territory of the USA under military government. Negotiations regarding the proper direction for further democratic development in Taiwan should be conducted with United States officials, and protests against the illegitimate ROC legal structure should be made with U.S. officials in Washington, D.C.